Welcome to the unclehack podcast, where dudes pretty much just talk dude shit.
Oh, it is so lovely to be back in this lovely little booth with my audience, with my people. You know, Christmas is on the horizon, and what a better time to get a gift for your loved one than a Danger Cats comedy show. Speaking of which, comedy dates coming up. December 29th, Red Deer, Alberta. Can't come to that. Too bad. Sold out. December 31st, New Year's Eve with the Danger Cats in Banff, Alberta. Come on out to Banff if you're in Alberta. You know, the lovely little town of Banff. January 1st, we're in Calgary, Alberta. January 20th, Slave Lake. January 25th, Kindersley, Saskatchewan. January 26th, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. January 27th, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. February 4th, Edmonton, Alberta. February 9th and 10th in Thunder Bay. February 16th and 17th, Niagara Falls. February 22nd in Fredericton, New Brunswick. February 23rd and 24th, St. John, New Brunswick. February 25th, Halifax, Nova Scotia. February 29th and to March 2nd, we're in Winnipeg. March 16th, Drumheller, Alberta. March 24th, Vancouver, BC. March 29th to the 31st in Ottawa. April 11th, Hinton, Alberta. April 12th, Rocky Mountain House. April 13th, Drayton Valley, baby. All those dates. Tickets available at dangercatsshop.com. Also, if you like this podcast, you know, I don't do this enough. As you've noticed over the years that I've been doing this, not a lot of sponsors really want to hop on a pod and, you know, that isn't as big as some of the other podcasts that can say this egregious type stuff because we're not popular enough. And it really resonates with the words I say on here. So if you want to support the podcast, head on over to patreon.com/dangercat69. There's extra episodes on there. You get this episode that you're listening to for 48 hours earlier. Jesus Christ. I'm really bad at marketing myself in a sense of being like, listen, I'm great, please help me out. No, I'm not asking you to help me out or anything like that, but if you want to support the pod, come to a show, join the Patreon. There's an extra episode every week exclusively for the Patreon subs, and as you've seen at the end of episodes, if you watch them on YouTube, you can be a Patreon Danger Dong producer of the show. You get credited for it because you are handing me your hard-earned money and fulfilling the dream of a once pipeliner turned retard, even more retarded, I should say. You start your retardation on the pipeline and you further it by not subjecting yourself to the HR guidelines and going outside those and exploring in those waters. You know, you say these wild things that can possibly get you fired, and I've had to hear for years from my mother, I can't believe you're putting that on the internet. Aren't you scared you're going to lose your job? And it's like, losing my job would be the best thing for me right now. And coincidentally, when the roads came to when the road came to a fork, it was a decision on continuing with the pipeline lifestyle, which probably would have ended with me having a Glock in my mouth. Thank God they take them away here in Canada, because my God Almighty. And then, then the troublesome. The troublesome problem solving is what I meant to say, of like figuring out the logistics of a hunting rifle and getting your toe on the trigger and all that. That's a hard road to go down. So I was like, hey, let's make it even harder by going on the internet and saying wild shit and turning that into a stand-up comedy career. But patreon.com/dangercat69. Support the show. Why don't you? You know, we put out a lot of free content. All I'm asking, I'm not going to guilt you into it unless the guilt trip is working. Then anyways, Christmas. Christmas. How are we feeling about Christmas? Are you ready for Christmas? The holidays, is not a time of the year that I thoroughly enjoy. And a lot of people are like, you're a Grinch. You're a Grinch. I just hate the phoniness of people, That's what I hate. I hate the phony. The holiday is nice. It's meant to be nice. The overall arc, fuck me. I'm having a day. I'm having a fucking day. And the holiday season just drags it out of me. The stress of it all, of like buying presents and all this shit that comes with it. Instead of just having like a few days off, like a good long weekend, there's just other horse shit that comes with it. It's packing up the family and I see these people that they have 3 kids and they got to get them to grandma's house for brunch, and then you got to go over to auntie's having fucking dinner, and then if you're divorced, you got to split your time between your mom and your dad's family, and it's just running around the whole time, and at the end of the day, you're at the fork in the road of like danger cats or pipelining, and you're thinking to yourself, where's the hunting rifle? Why isn't there a rope underneath the tree for me this year? Why can't I just finish it all off? It's like, you finally just want to kick your feet up, and this year Christmas Eve falls on a Sunday. Maybe you want to kick the feet up, enjoy a little eggnog and rum and watch a football game. But that doesn't happen, because then like if you're hosting, oh God, I see some people that host their Christmas and you get excited. Oh, my son is finally hosting his first Christmas, and the stress that comes with it. Families are fighting with one another because Cheryl at Thanksgiving decided to say that, how you're raising your kids isn't necessarily the right way. And that's carried on into Christmas. We got to reopen some wounds here, get some new arguments going. It's a stressful time for everybody. And the reason I don't like Christmas is because of those reasons, and because of the stress of having to run around and just give these phony conversations. There's a lot of phoniness that comes with it, and fakeness that the holidays drag out of everybody. It's the holiday spirit of what? Being a fake loser? I hate it so much. We've devolved. We have. And I don't know if, I know some of you definitely that listen to this podcast like to have a few drinks and air out their thoughts at a family dinner. Some of you aren't even invited to Christmas this year, and you're just going to sit in your fucking apartment by yourself, glugging back a bottle of spiced rum, watching Christmas Vacation for the 14th time, And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, a lot of people say it's depressing to be to take in the holidays by their lonesome. But I think those people need to just look at the bright side of things. You get yourself a little Swiss chalet dinner, maybe a little Chinese food, kick your feet up, get half in the bag, and it's on a Sunday. A Sunday, you got NFL football, you can gamble, get snapped up by yourself. Everybody, there is an ambiance. There is a vibe in the air during it while you're alone, because you think about all the people that are enjoying themselves. But take time and think about all those people that are sitting in awkward situations. Maybe you're a new boyfriend and you got to go meet your fucking girlfriend's family. This is the second, third time of meeting them, and then the extended family is all there. Think of those guys that have to just sit there and be quiet. They don't get to be themselves because it's like, I'm fucking the shit out of your niece, so I just got to pretend I'm polite, There it is. More fakeness. You can't just be yourself. Think of those guys. Meanwhile, you're sitting alone. You can do whatever the hell you want. You can do it. You can piss yourself in a recliner watching Elf, and you have the audacity to complain. Meanwhile, out there in the world is just a bunch of fake motherfuckers sitting around a dinner table pretending to like one another, when you, in reality, can sit in your apartment and hate yourself and enjoy it. There are some good that come out of the holidays, when it's over. That's an easy one right there. Well, the best thing I like about the holidays is when it's over. My favorite day is Boxing Day because that means Christmas is 364 days away. There it is. A little more punch to that. I'm not a fan. I'm gonna cut you straight. I'm not a fan. I don't like it. I don't like the stress. There's just an added level of stress, you know. Thanksgiving, one day, one dinner. You got Christmas Eve, then you got fucking, I got to go to Dad's house, and then I got to go to Grandpa's house because Dad and Grandpa aren't talking, and then I got to go to Mom's house, and then because that side of the family just doesn't like one another, I got to go to Mom's house, and then this aunt is having dinner, and I got to go over there. I got to be at 8 places in 10 hours. And you just think to yourself like, and you got the kids, you got to pack the kids up again. And you know how goodbyes go at family events. It's a fucking 25-minute goodbye. What happened to just saying goodbye? What happened to just saying goodbye? All of a sudden, somebody's got to fire up a new story in the doorway, you know? The draft is hitting you in the ass and you're fucking freezing to death over here. And you're like, can you speed this up? I've heard this 5 times. I've heard this 5 goddamn times. Get it over with. Put a bow on it, okay? There's no need. Wrap this gift up. Wrap it up. We've had enough. We've had enough of story time. We've been sitting around, we've been having story time for the past 4 hours. It's enough. Give it a rest. This podcast is slowly turning into me just really airing out. This is my therapy, I think. I am just assaulting your ears with my problems and what I think about shit. And you know what? You get the pleasure of turning it off at any point. At any point. Or you get to disagree with me in the comments. You get to talk shit. You get to say all sorts of stuff. You just get to air it all out. You know? Another dumb time of the year is New Year's. You know? New Year's always irritated me. There's always some stupid fucking part. Everybody gets dressed up. Like, wait, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Everybody looks like they're going to a fucking Ricky Martin concert. Get the fuck out of here. For what? A countdown on a clock? That's what we're doing? We're fucking looking at the clock? And then when, hey, it's midnight, blah. Enough. That is what, like, you know, like here's what I enjoy about our show this year. It's at 7 o'clock. I don't even want to be awake for when the time changes. You know, when it goes from 11:59 to 12, I don't want to be awake. I don't want to partake in this anymore. I'm done. I'm over it. New Year's is just one of those fucking times where, you know, it's an awkward time. Nobody has a plan ever. We're all scrambling for plans. You know, you can't go to your local bar. The Watering Hole wants to sell tickets because they got a cover band in, you know. It's a $10 fucking $15 cover. And it's like, Jesus Christ almighty. Why do we got cover at a goddamn bar that can't even like replace the rug? What are we doing here? You know? Just let the people come in, for Christ's sakes. You got a ticket? And it's like, Jesus Christ, Cheryl. No, I didn't buy a fucking ticket. I'm not partaking in this shit. New Year's Day, everybody's going to be nice and hungover. Head on down to the Danger Room. Start your year off on the wrong foot. Calgary, Alberta, the Danger Room. It's a nice time, you know. You're going to be hungover and miserable, and we're just going to be miserable because this fucking shit isn't wrapped up yet. You know, let's just start the year. Let's get it over with. And what better time and place to do that with Danger Cats Comedy, where we're just going to talk some fucking shit. We're going to talk some fucking shit. Oh, it's going to be nice. I can feel that everything's coming together. I want to become a miserable old man at the ripe age of 33. That's what I want to do. You know, that's how I'm feeling these days. And I can feel it every time I'm fucking, what the fuck is this? Enough of this. I'm looking at articles. People are annoying me with their writing these days. Everything just, we are all of a sudden all just stars of our own show, you know? And then we will go to any fucking length to try and ruin somebody else to make $1. You know, that's where the Me Too movement was it was a dumbass witch hunt. And every whore that couldn't accept the fact that they're a whore. And no, it seemed like once the beauty ran out, you know, because you can only be hot for so long while you snort cocaine and get your guts plowed every Saturday night, right? You can only be sexy for so long when you don't take care of that little facility downstairs and you want to fucking numb the pain with whatever narcotic you can get your hands on. And when that all dissipates and when the reality has to settle in and you're looking around and you look in the mirror and you look like a withered old fucking wicked witch of the West, you know? Except you don't even have a broom to go ride around and terrorize the town on, you know? You spent the better half of your youth sucking dick and shooting heroin. And now all that's left is a lawsuit to try and reclaim a little bit of that fucking dignity you left behind back in the late 2000s, you know? And this is the article that we're going to get into is, here's the headline. Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee accused of 2003 sex assault in a helicopter. First off, this is fun. Where was the warning? Warning. This story contains graphic content. No shit. Oh, I didn't realize that Motley Crue was a Christian fucking rock band. Jesus Christ. A new lawsuit claims musician Tommy Lee sexually assaulted a woman in a helicopter during a drug-filled 2003 flight in California. There it is. There it is. The picture paints itself. Now, that's where a lot of this starts to irritate me. You know, you had your fun, accept it. You had your fun, accept it. You gotta fuck one of the greatest drummers on the planet. And that's not good enough because there was no monetary value. And now here you are, just a withered old piece of meat that everybody walks past. At one point, it was a great story at a party. I sucked Tommy Lee off in a helicopter. You know, a lot of women have sucked off Tommy Lee. How many have done it in a fucking helicopter? Not that many. Take your story, write a book. The time I took that 12-inch fucking rope down my throat, I had to gag it down like a pelican with a salmon. And here you have the audacity to now come out in 2023, 20 years later. Oh, I just felt, get the fuck out of here. According to a civil complaint filed Friday at the Los Angeles County Superior Court, the unidentified woman knew pilot David Martz and thought she was going on a sightseeing tour until she was unexpectedly introduced to the Motley Crue drummer at an airfield in San Diego. During the short 40-minute trip, Tommy Lee and David Martz consumed several alcoholic beverages, smoked marijuana, and snorted cocaine, the complaint alleges. Tommy Lee then proceeded to sexually assault plaintiff by forcibly groping, kissing, penetrating her with his fingers and attempting to force her to perform oral copulation. Described as Lee's personal helicopter pilot, Martz died in a plane crash in August 2015. Boy, I can't imagine why. I'd imagine that flying a helicopter is quite difficult, but rolling a joint while flying a helicopter probably is a little harder, especially while you're trying to roll that joint and snort a fat line of nose nachos off the dash. Pretty cool way to die, though. If you're going to die, that's got to be up there, top 5 ways to die. Helicopter crash, not like Kobe, that one sucks. But if you're fucking gacked out of your skull with the drummer of Motley Crue, and you put that plane into the Hollywood sign, I think that you deserve a little bit of a pat on the back. According to the Los Angeles Times, his pilot license was revoked 3 times, including in 2009 after he was filmed engaging in a sex act with an adult film actress while flying the helicopter. So So this happens in 2009. When did this? 2003. Okay. A couple of years later. I'd imagine some people just are able to have a judge of character in certain moments in time. And maybe that lapse of judgment took place that day. But if you got a guy who's a helicopter pilot hanging out with Motley Crue's drummer, Tommy Lee, I'm going to go with this guy's a little bit of a wild card. He's a little bit of an ace in the hole, How are you going to sit here and you knew, okay, Tommy Lee's coming. Oh, I still want to go on the plane ride. You know that he likes to fuck and get fucked up, right? Oh, yeah. Well aware. 20 years later, I'm going to cash these chips in. And I'm not sitting here saying that everybody that gets sexually assaulted should put their fucking, I'm not saying that all of you aren't victims in any way, but I'm just saying, read the room sometimes. If you start feeling like a little uncomfortable, and meanwhile, you know that these two are fucking party animals. It's 2003. Tommy Lee's at the height of his DJ career, which was, that was quite impressive that he decided to go that route. I'm pretty sure it was 2003 when he decided that he wanted to become a DJ. DJs in that era, pretty much like 1980s hair metal. A lot of drugs, a lot of fun. The complaint alleges that the woman and Martz occasionally had lunch after they met at the bank she was working at. When she finally agreed to join Martz for a helicopter ride, she was surprised to learn on arrival that they'd be flying Lee to Los Angeles. She claims that the assault began soon after she reluctantly agreed to join Lee and Martz in the small cockpit. Plaintiff attempted to pull away from Lee, but he only became more forceful, the complaint alleges. By this point, plaintiff was in tears. She had nowhere to go. She was trapped with little mobility to leave the cockpit. The woman is seeking unspecified damages for sexual assault, gender violence, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and negligence. Like many survivors of sexual assault, plaintiff believed that the events that unfolded on Martz helicopter in February of 2003 were caused by her own actions, and that this was an isolated incident that would be not taken seriously by local police authorities. And in 2003, she's correct. Wasn't really the time to be throwing around sexual assault claims at celebrities, but at the same time, you gotta kind of look. You gotta kind of look at the situation. Do I want to get into a helicopter with a drug-fueled maniac and a helicopter pilot that's probably going to partake? No, not entirely. This guy has been notoriously known for being a sex addict. He's got a dick on him like a fucking donkey. And you never got curious? I sound like a full-blown feminist here, don't I? I sound like feminism in its purest form. I am the fifth wave of feminism. This is like the point of just being so feminist that you could accept your behavior and your decisions at that time. Jesus Christ, if I was stuck in a helicopter with Tommy Lee, I'd probably suck his dick too. Huge Motley Crue fan. In 1998, Lee was sentenced to 6 months in jail for beating his then-wife, Canadian-American actress and model Pamela Anderson. Lee's heavy metal band Motley Crue is scheduled to headline Ottawa Blues Fest in the Calgary Stampede in July. Oh, and then we got it all in here now. There you have it. But that's what I'm saying is, you have this, right? You have something like this and that pops up. And then you have on the flip side, it's not only the guys that are doing this type of shit. Here's a fun one that I thought would be great to follow up that story. Woman forced oral sex on male stranger during Russian flight, report. It's tough knowing that some guys are living your dream. It is hard to read something like this. A woman in Russia is giving a new meaning to the Mile High Club. You know? Oops, there we go. According to Britain's Daily Mail, police boarded the plane and detained a woman named Valeria, 29, in Moscow to cheers and claps from fellow passengers after it recently landed in Vnukovo International Airport. On a flight from Antalya to Moscow, a female passenger went on a rampage and orally raped her female neighbor. You know what's sad is like, it's going to be tough to admit to an audience, but I often sit in an airport and, you think to yourself like, gee, wouldn't it be nice to sit beside somebody good looking? Wouldn't it be nice? And in Russia, they're no slouches. Like some of the women there are just like, holy shit. Just purebred, right from the tap, right from the source. You know what I mean? Not these mutts running around here. And that lady looked and she says, eat my, how do you forcefully fucking get a guy to eat your pussy? It's got to be hard. Even to like, you can throttle fuck somebody's throat. I understand that. But like, do you just like, are you just fucking the lips? Is his tongue out? What's going on here? There's a lot of questions that are left unanswered. Orally raped her male neighbor. She pulled down wait a minute. She sucked him off? I didn't read this entirely. I seen the headline, read the first like little blurb, and I was like, all right, this is good. This is good stuff. She pulled down his trousers, committed violent acts of sexual nature, then reported, the report added, as the man eventually stopped resisting while flight attendants and fellow passengers witnessed the act. Another media report suggested the flight attendants waited until the act was over to separate the man and the woman. Are you kidding me? The woman fought back and did not want to leave her newly made companion, Shot Media reported, as another male passenger guarded the woman for the rest of the flight. Yeah, that's an angel. That's an angel. So she just rips down a guy's... I'm baffled here because I thought she forcefully made somebody eat her pussy. Also, hey, not that bad. Just ask. But then is it a little more fun? Is she getting like, there's a bit of a power trip there? That's a... Oh God, sometimes I don't like this world. I like, let the whores be whores, gentlemen. I'm tired of these alpha bros, right? These alpha bros that now found God all of a sudden. What's going on here? Why now all of a sudden, because it's trendy, it's hip, because your new little found God, Andrew Tate, is going fucking running wild with religion. Everything's haram, even though he's got pussy all around him all the time. That's the thing that annoys me with those guys, is that they sit here, they bark one thing, but do another. Surrounded by hot women. Well, I don't just fuck them. I know that. You don't got time to fuck them all. All these hot, gorgeous women are surrounded by you. And then you're like convincing the regular day guy that goes out and just tries to get a little piece, a little piece of the pie. You're convincing these guys now that you need to find God and Jesus and all these losers that go around, rent Ferraris and take photos of it. And it's created this new like fucking whirlwind of horse shit. This newfound whirlwind of horse shit where it's a business. It's a fucking business to convince regular day guys that they need to take their course and find God and, hey, dude, don't go anywhere. I'm going to teach you about a little thing called affiliate marketing and picking up a Bible. And we're going to make some dough off it. I'm going to charge you $100 a month. You get my courses. You can meet up with me and you can help fund my lifestyle while I fly around the world and make you jealous of how I'm living. Because if you follow my course, they're selling you something, right? And then they all fall into this like religious behavior of like, you need God, you don't need to be chasing pussy and all that shit. What the fuck? What the fuck? Then it breeds these guys. It breeds these guys. You're sitting on a plane, you know, I don't want to be blacklisted or nothing like that, but if I am going to be blacklisted from an airline, I wouldn't hate to be forcefully sucked off. That is not a bad thing. And if you just kind of show a little bit of resistance, like I don't really want this, but this lady is she just wants to suck the meat. I don't know what to do. She keeps fucking clawing and scratching me, so I guess we're doing this. Do I get blacklisted? You know? I got to pretend like I don't want this so that way I can still fly around the world. I want to let it, like, to sit back. You know, the woman, according to reports, the woman may have been intoxicated during the ordeal. She was also accused of scratching the flight crew and smoking an e-cigarette despite being told to stop. She was getting the job done. Win-win for the guy. If he played that off, that, hey, I don't want this. I just, like, this psychopath over here wants to, you know, she wants to play a little tune on the skin flute. I don't know what to do. Cabin staff is step back. We're just going to let this happen. And you just sit there like, almost like you're held at gunpoint, you know? You just hands up and like have a little bit of a look. Like you know, it's tough. Because I'd imagine that a little bit of horniness is going to take over and be like, yeah, this is kind of hot. You know, that's peak. Then that unlocks some new doors. Imagine that. Imagine you get off the flight and you go to whoever's picking you up. Your brother's picking you up and you're like, you're not going to believe what the fuck happened to me. Imagine having to explain that to somebody. Explain. Like, I'm sitting there minding my own business. I'm fucking watching whatever gay movie they have on the screen in front of me. Unless you're on Air Canada, then you just got to sit there and stare at the fucking dandruff of the guy in front of you, you know? Unless you're on like a Canadian-owned airline, then good luck. Hopefully you downloaded some fucking shit on your iPad. And here I am. All of a sudden, this drunk, horny lady just rips my pants down unexpectedly and just starts sucking me off. And be like, yeah, what are you, drunk too? No. I'm a bit mortified, but I think I love her. I think I found the one for me. All on an evening's flight to Moscow. Oh, God. It ruins me inside to know that guys are out there living the fucking, you know, they're getting the treatment that I just wish I got. It hurts me inside. And then we got to act like, oh, no, you can't accept this type of behavior. Why not? Why the fuck not? Wouldn't that be nice? I've sat there numerous times because I have testosterone in my body and I'm constantly thinking about pussy. You know, that's just, I'm sorry. Sorry I am the way I am, you know. You get a glimpse of some cheeks in public and you're like, oh, God. I wonder what those are like to smother me. Huh? Just like an assassin putting a pillow over my face. I just want to fucking struggle to breathe. And you think about these things in public. You do. We don't want to admit it. None of us want to admit that. You can't admit it out anymore because it's the shit you read earlier with Tommy Lee. You know, the guys back then got a little handsy. And even before that, they got even more handsy. And now we're sitting here with we're like that John Wick fucking movie poster with all the guns pointed at you. It's like Me Too allegations. It's like, he looked at my ass. My cleavage was too much and he looked at it and he said, have a nice day. And it's just gun all around you. And you got to fucking tiptoe on eggshells. And then this sweet little angel falls right out of the sky through that roof of that fucking plane right beside you, forcefully pulls your pants down and sucks you off to an audience with no hesitation, and you got to sit there and pretend like you didn't enjoy this because of the fucking world around us. Isn't that disgusting? Isn't that grotesque? We just can't fucking enjoy ourselves anymore, can we, boys? You imagine, fellas. Put yourself in any scenario. Some Russian sits beside you and just says, you have 22 seconds to pull out your cock before I suck the shit out of it. And like, And you're like, ha ha ha, yeah, fuck, I've heard this before. No. And you're like, ha ha ha, sick joke, I'm not about to fall for this little fucking, ha ha, pull your dick out. And then all of a sudden, fucking everybody's looking around like, what the fuck is wrong with you? She rips that thing down and goes to town on it. Gives you the experience of a lifetime. Gives you the experience of a lifetime. Unfucking believable. Unfucking believable. Oh, God. And you gotta pretend like you don't fucking care. In an interview with Baza Media, the woman claimed she was fined 500 rubles, equivalent to $7.60. You can't buy a blowjob that cheap. Are you kidding me? She paid $7.60 to suck a dick that day. And here's her follow-up statement. Everything was fine, she said. I had a good time on the plane. Well, that's a little more than that. Unfucking believable. When have you ever, gentlemen, I want to know. Email the show. Email the fucking show. When have you ever been paid to get your dick sucked? And I understand that this is a fine and it's going to the government, but I'm saying when have you ever got paid? I know we've paid. Every blowjob costs you something, whether it's gas, food, drinks, a date, time, which is also could be accounted for fucking money. There's a list of things that you've paid for to get a blowjob. But have you ever been paid? Has a woman ever pulled out whatever, even if it's $7.60? If she said, "I give you $7.60 to suck your dick right now," you'd be mind blown. You wouldn't know what to do. It'd melt your fucking hardware. What? You're gonna pay me? What? Huh? What? Excuse me. Yes, I'm gonna pay you $7.60. Pull your dick out. Let me suck it. Do I have to do anything? Nope. Not even like a finger? Nope. Get that thing out. Quit talking. You're turning me off. That or I'm going to pay the next guy. You know? $7.60 suck you off. Right here, right now. I'll give it to you. Here's the cash. I'll pay you up front. I'd be fucking lost. I'd be lost. I'd be like that's the $1 million question. Who wants to be a millionaire right there? And I'm out of lifelines. Oh, shit. We're shooting in the dark here. You know that? You remember when you'd see those guys when they get a question, no lifelines left? And they're just staring off into the abyss like, fuck me, we got this far. This ain't good. This is not good. There goes $1 million down the drain. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. We were almost there. $1 million goddamn bucks. Unbelievable. And then you have this. Everything was fine. I had a good time on the plane, she said. She said that. Well, that's a little more than that. Oh my God. She was also accused of trying to bribe the flight crew with an American $100 bill to not report her to authorities, but an attendant crumbled it up and threw it in the trash during the trip. The woman emptied the garbage bin to retrieve the money. Even goes back and grabs the 100. These assholes. You know what? So she was going to pay, what's that, Canadian? Like $130 Canadian? $137.60 to suck a hog that day. But she got the $100 back. So you got the money back. But she was willing to pay that. Oh. And you wonder why passport bros exist. You wonder, you know? You wonder. You sit here and wonder, Canadian, American women sit here and say, men ain't shit. They don't do this. They don't do that. There's a laundry list of horseshit that men in Canada and America don't do. And meanwhile, you can fly your ass over to fucking Moscow, and possibly during the duration of the flight, some horny Russian might sit next to you and just suck you off, and you might just hop on. Hey, what do you say we just go back? You want to come to move to Canada? If you're pulling that kind of shit right here, right now, and you blow me, what are we doing? Come on over. Congratulations, you got the green card you were looking for. I didn't even have to go shopping. I didn't even fucking get out of the airport. I just, what are you here for? To find a wife. Did you find one? Yeah, on the flight here. So what are you doing? I'm flying back home. What am I going to do? Go shopping? Look around? What the fuck? I'm done. Tapped out. Figured it all out right here. One flight. A gonk job. Huh. Unfucking believable. Unfucking believable. Do you believe this shit? I know we usually talk politics and all that on this show, but my God, there was just some things that just had me annoyed. It's mainly this show now is turning into things that irritate me when I initially read it, and how can we make fun of it because it got an emotion out of me. It brought something out of me. You know, it got me going. Fired me up. Unfucking believable. Unfucking believable. That some guys just get to live your dream. I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, it's like Lloyd and fucking Harry at the end of Dumb and Dumber. You know, the bus comes rolling around. It is a funny scene, but it is like that. That's real life right there. You know, these guys, they get an opportunity like this. They get the goddamn opportunity. And what do they do with it? They piss it away. They're upset that this happened. And I get it. Like, the only way that right there is accepting to be mad that it happened is because you're scared of being on a no-fly list. So you got to act like you didn't want this. Rightfully so. It's the only way that I will accept any sort of statement where you're like, I don't know what to do. I can't hit women. I'm on a flight with the fucking, oh God, what am I supposed to do here? And she just let her go. I don't know, just hands up, like if fucking pistols against your head. You're in a bank robbery, but the bank robbery is the sperm bank, and she's going to empty them balls. Whew. Unbelievable. All right, enough of that. I want to annoy the shit out of you guys even more. So we're moving onward.
That's crazy though.
Oh God. So there's this podcast out of Toronto, right? Seeking Success podcast, right? And you've probably seen that clip floating around with that one broad that was yapping with the Toronto accent. I don't know what she is. It looks like an Armenian that painted her skin white, but that Toronto man's accent on a woman is just nails on a chalkboard, you know? It is just but there was one, I found like this little clip in the podcast that I did find quite hilarious of like these people trying to make absolute sense out of anything when they got the education of a 3-year-old and the vernacular of a fucking Down syndrome that is able to produce like full-blown sentences, but it's almost like you would look at somebody with Down syndrome and respect them more because of the mental disabilities, where this person has every reason or they can take the steps that are necessary not to speak like such a jackass, but they do it anyways because, you know, we're living in idiocracy. We are living in idiocracy, and then in this clip, she attempts to explain herself about getting pussy, which I kind of had a fun time listening to. This was highly entertaining to me. Highly entertaining to me.
I tell men to wild out because if you don't wild out, you're going to cheat on the one you love. Like you need to, well, you won't cheat on the one you love, but you have to wild out when you're young, get your experience so you don't want all this pussy when you're in your 30s.
So, okay, wait, so I'm a virgin. So you think I shouldn't like marry the first girl that I deal with?
I'm not sure. That's interesting. I think that if you
Ladies and gentlemen, as I present to you the Toronto education system failing in front of your eyes. Let's just go back just to see here. Where are we at?
Good. That's crazy.
Like
though.
I tell men to wild out because if you don't wild out, you're gonna cheat on the one you love. Like you need to, well, you won't cheat on the one you love, but you have to wild out when you're young.
See what I mean? You got to wild out. You got to go out there and sow some wild oats, as my great grandma used to say. You got to sow some wild oats. Get it out of your system. You got to go fight. When you're a young man, I kind of half-assedly agree with her. And I get where like these alpha bros are coming to you like, you got to love a girl, but they're also the ones that are wilding out still. I got to find the right one. Dude, what are we talking about here? I got to find the right one. It's like you're 47 yelling into a fucking YouTube camera. You're yelling on a YouTube video, but like, men aren't the way they are. Men aren't like what they used to be. It's like, no, because men didn't find like content creating, they were building shit. Oh, I'm building an empire. Are you? What, one subscriber at a time? What the fuck are we talking about? This shit that I do is gay. It is gay. Podcasting is gay. Let's call it what it is. This shit is gay. Creating content, I'm 33 years old. I don't need to be running around and fucking acting like a jackass, but I do it anyways because I find it fun. It's hilarious. I understand the humility of it. And, when people are, aren't you going to get a real job? No, fuck no. I want to do stand-up. I want to tell jokes. That's what I want to do, which is kind of a profession. But when you say that I'm a 33-year-old YouTuber, people kind of like, whoa, what the hell is wrong with you, right? And it's even worse when you get older and you're like, I'm 47 and I have an Alpha Bro channel. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? 47 and you decided to just fire up an Alpha Bro channel? Like this shit right here. Everybody can have a podcast, including myself. We can do whatever we want. That's the joy of living in 2023. You can make shit happen out of thin fucking air. I'm living proof that this is a dumb idea sitting at my kitchen table in a one-bedroom apartment and started making fucking videos on the internet has led me down a path to where I was skateboarding with Bam Margera. How does that happen? I don't fucking know. Okay, I'm a small kid from small town, Alberta. I'm a small town kid from rural Alberta. See what I mean? I'm getting flustered here. I'm getting fired up. I'm trying to keep it together, but I can't wrap my head around that sometimes, and it's sick. It's cool. But in the grand scheme of things, content creator is gay. Okay, it is gay. There is nothing like, what do? I make videos. And then like, what kind of videos? I make silly videos. Okay, that's excusable. Are you serious on the internet? Not overly. I try not to be. This show is for entertainment purposes. And we just find things and shit on them because it's fun. Nobody, there are people out there doing it, but we're doing it in our own way. And sitting here and listening, you got to go out and you got to get some pussy. And then she like redacts herself so that way you'll cheat. What did she caught herself.
That's money. He never got certain bitches before when he was broke. So now he's getting all these bitches he never got before when he was broke. But see, attractive men, if you already got bitches your whole life, you don't act like that. It's these men who never got no pussy. And then when they get money, they get bitches. And then they get excited and they cheat on their bitch.
That's why this guy would never cheat.
So you have to, this is my advice for all men.
This guy was top womanizer back in the day?
Are you serious?
No.
Are you settled now?
This guy, white girl, black girl, Asian girl, Latina, everything, bro.
Like I always tell men, that's kind of mad.
I was trying to ask him,
but you need to wild out. That's why I tell men.
No, but he's good now. He's good now.
Yeah,
that's what I tell men.
Oh, alhamdulillah, that's good. That's crazy,
like
though.
I tell men to wild out because if you don't wild out, you're going to cheat on the one you love. Like you need to.
You're going to cheat on the one that you love. You got to wild out. You got to wild out. But then the men, on the other hand, are like, oh, yeah, fuck. Does it work for female logic as well? You know, that's where we are. We want equality, but we want fucking, separate rules, and we got to figure all this shit out. We got too much internet. That's the thing. Because then you have this. Imagine this. Imagine sitting at a bar and this thing comes walking up to you. Yo! You imagine hearing that in your ear? The Canadian accent is already unattractive. Oh, hey there, bud. What do you say? I suck you off on this plane. Nope. Excuse me, pull out your cock because I'd like to suck it. Yep. Yo, you got a wild out, fam? Oh my God. What happened?
So, well, you won't cheat on the one you love, but you have to wild out when you're young, get your experience, so you don't want all this pussy when you're in your 30s.
So, okay, wait, so I'm a virgin, so you think I shouldn't, marry the first girl that I do with?
I'm not sure. That's interesting. I think that
didn't think that through because all you hang around with is fucking idiots. This is the product of an environment around you. That's why math and science come into play here. Is old dum has spent her whole life hanging around these guys that just slay ass, jump bitch to bitch, and then this is why I say fucking. And then you got an accent like that. That's forced. That's forced. She is whiter than a fucking pile of rice on a paper plate in a snowstorm, talking like that, like a Toronto Jamaican. Or what I say, I like to call that accent Newfie Jamaican because it doesn't sound right. If you heard that, yo, what are we doing here? Karate? Sounds like a fucking sensei. Oh, sounds like a Chinese person that got hit with a rebuttal. Oh.
if you want to know my honest opinion, my real honest opinion,
yeah, that's why I asked you.
don't think that will exist. Oh wow, snazzy. I don't think that will exist. I don't think that
Wait, you don't
that
think what would
exists.
exist?
Okay, I actually met girls who are virgins, fine, but I don't believe that two virgins or whatever how you call it, meeting each other, getting married is gonna stay loyal to each other. There's no fucking way in hell. Once you get that taste of that pussy, you're gonna be so curious. Yo, I wanna try this bitch. I wanna try this bitch, this bitch, this bitch. You think you're not gonna? You never tried nothing before. You think you never fucked? If you never fucked and Shorty never fucked, well, you guys think this is a fairy tale? You're gonna marry each other 50 years, stay together? I wish it was like that.
It used to be like that. That or we did this thing. Men used to do this thing called cheating, which she's talking about. What about Mormons? Mormons are like a perfect example of what are you talking about, lady? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Unfucking believable. Could you find dumber people to sit down and have a podcast? Could you? I would like to know that. Could you find dumber people to sit down and have a podcast, What are we doing in Canada? This is what we're up to. If we're not protesting at the mall, yelling at Zara, they're gathering and trying to fucking figure out the dynamics of relationships over how much pussy you need to get before you can settle down.
I would want that. I wish I never fucked anyone and I was a virgin till marriage.
So there she goes. And then it's a flip-flop.
Marriage. However, there's no way that a man will stay with one pussy forever, especially if you only had that one pussy. I
don't know. What if my wife's a 10 out of 10 baddie though?
Could you imagine coming home to that every day? You think your wife's voice is annoying, but imagine coming home to that every day. You would force overtime on yourself. You would force overtime on yourself. Wouldn't you? You would just want to stay at work. I mean, obviously, the real reason or the real answer is you'd have to leave that, that's not even a one night stand. Can you imagine having to talk to that at a bar? Imagine that. Imagine you take a look apart from all the horse shit that she's got going on, the fake nails, the French tips, the eyelashes, the somewhat skanky outfit, you know, the high boots. Like you look at that and you're like, it reminds me of like the slutty girls that tried too hard in high school, you know? Like they always like, they went the extra mile just to be, the pants had to just be like an extra size too small. They had to like overcompensate for something like maybe self-confidence or whatever it was by being slutty. You know, there was an issue at hand, and the way that they dealt with it was just being a flat out whore. And God bless them, because, you know, a lot of us wouldn't have gotten laid and wouldn't have lost our V cards if it wasn't for them, because, you know, like it's hard when you're in high school, you know, you want somebody to kind of take the reins and take your virginity that's been here before, you know, you want that, you know, the first time you have sex and it's like two virgins fucking, it's too weird, you know, you're going off porn, you're trying to do things that it's unnatural. It doesn't work that way. You got to have somebody that's, you know, seen some fucking ring time, you know, has a little bit of experience, and they can pass that experience on. You got to get one out of the way, you know? So I somewhat agree with what she's saying, but at the same time, I'm looking at this fucking lady and I'm thinking to myself, like, I can't imagine trying to enjoy a conversation with this human being with this forced accent that she's got going on and the things that she's saying. I can only imagine the other things stored inside that cranium are just a plethora of like intelligent ideas of like how to solve world hunger, you know, who the real manufacturer was behind COVID, can jet fuel melt steel beams, you know, real in-depth conversations about world problems and how to solve them, all there right before our eyes. She's got them stored upstairs, and that's why she's giving us all this information, gentlemen. And like, let's hear more.
Doesn't matter. There's always someone better. What do you mean? There's always someone better. There's always someone better. You have to, there's always better pussy. There's always bigger dick. There's always bigger titties, bigger ass, a better personality. Someone's funnier than your bitch. Someone's smarter. They have a better degree. There's always better. No one's ever bad.
Crazy. Can you believe? Imagine getting cheated on and go like, sorry, she had a better degree than you.
Okay, well, you know what I'm saying? Some guys are like that.
Yeah,
Some guys are like that.
I ain't judging.
Some guys are actually like
that.
that. Some men will not date a woman lower than a master's degree.
Really?
Yeah. Some men will not date a woman who...
Something you don't have.
I got nothing right now, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Fair.
So you think that bitch will stay loyal to your dick forever?
Hundos. I'm packing.
Hundos. Oh my God. I can't.
That's crazy. I don't think so, y'all.
You don't think I'm packing?
No, I don't think a girl will stay loyal to
I was going to
a
say,
guy.
you're lucky I'm waiting for marriage.
Okay,
right?
you know what? If it happens, that is fucking dope, but I haven't heard that shit happen since like the 1800s.
No, I think
And this is why I'm saying avoid Canada. Toronto specifically. You know, I'm not saying they're all like that out there, but you get into some of the GTA areas, not good. Not good. I got horrible information for you guys today. Apparently everybody's doing well. You know, we got no hate mail this week, and I know we've been lacking on the pod. We're getting up to date with a lot of things. You know, Focus. We are back to our regular scheduled programming is what I meant to say. We're getting these podcasts out there. We're working our asses off to get everything back in order. You know, the Texas run, it really shook up the system. I'm trying to recoup. I'm still exhausted from it. Jesus Christ. I'm not a young man anymore, and I keep running myself fucking just into the ground, you know? And I got to remember, like, hey, you're not that guy anymore. You know, you're getting older. You're 33, buddy. Slow down just a little bit. Smell the daisies. Enjoy a bit of this. Make fun of this shit. Have some fun, pal. You don't get it, do you, hack? You just don't get it. Every day's a fucking party, isn't it? No, I'm not drinking anymore. I'm back on the health kick. You know, we're trying to get in shape. I want to fucking look good this year. I want to look good. We're going to get back lifting. You know, the booze has been kind of put on the shelf for a minute here. We'll see on the holiday season, but I haven't been hitting the sauce. And it's kind of been nice taking a little break from the sauce. You guys witnessed how hard I went on it. I was filming it, putting it out, making an ass out of myself for everybody's enjoyment. All the old videos on YouTube. Oy, oy, oy. But we're turning over a new leaf here. We're taking this shit serious. We're going to run it to the fucking stratosphere and back, and then maybe some more. But the sauce, it's like, once it gets a hold on you, she's quicksand. Anyways, tickets available at dangercatshop.com. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Uncle Hack podcast. We appreciate you being here. And if you want the exclusive version, head on over to patreon.com/dangercat69. The link is down in the description down below. Like I said, it's a great way to support the pod if you enjoy it. If not, enjoy the free content, you cheap bitch. I'm just joking. Don't take that to heart. I'm just fucking around here. I'm just messing around here. Good night, everybody.